We're gonna see the math practice number 1.
I can.
I could.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll keep doing it this way. So I need to move a little to the side. Sometimes when I move to the side, you cannot hear me properly, but I'll try my best. So first thing that you need to know is what everything means. Okay. So let's start with that. I will say things like charges. Okay, charges. That's not the one that I wanted. Give me 1 second. Why does it look like that? There. So charges. Charges is the same as bill. Okay. Bill charges is exactly the same. So if you have a question that says charges or billed, that's the same thing. We're gonna use the letter C for charges. You'll see why in a little bit. When we use formulas, I like to use the letter C for charges. Well, charges are billed. Then we're gonna have something that we call allowable amounts. So allowable amount is the same as maximum allowed is the same as Medicare allowed. Okay, all those things mean the same. In our formula, it's gonna be allowed amount. Okay, allowed amount. Then we're gonna have a word that we already know, deductible. And a deductible is a yearly amount. Yeah, that's so weird. Yearly amount. Examples could be 1,000. It could be 500. It could be 100, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay. What is something that you pay in the year? Sometimes when we talk about deductible, I'm gonna do it here like indented. Sometimes we say that we paid some part of the deductible. So there's gonna be an example here. If I pay $500 of a deductible that was $1,000, then you do $1,000 that was a deductible minus the 5, maybe not 500 would be best, so 200. So you pay $200 of a deductible that was $1,000. So now you have $800 of deductible left over. That could also happen. For deductible, we're gonna use the letter D. D for deductible. Then we have a thing called co-insurance. Co-insurance is a percentage that the patient has to pay. The percentage for the patients. Okay. The examples, a plan could be 80-20. That means that 80 paid by the first number is paid by the insurance, the second number is paid by the patient, and those are percentages. So it could be 80-20, it could be 70-30, it could be 75-25, anything that actually when you add it gives 100. Okay. Co-insurance. And for co-insurance, we're gonna use the I like to use CO co-insurance. Okay. We could have co-payments. Co-pay is a fixed amount. Okay, this is a fixed also. Fixed amount. Well, instead of being per year like before, this is per visit. So it's, what did I write there? Here you go. This examples could be 25, could be 50, it could be 100. Technically smaller numbers than what the deductible is. And for co-payment, we use the whole word co-payment because we already have something with a C. We have co-insurance. So to differentiate them, I use the whole word co-payment. Lastly, here we have what we call adjustments. Adjustment is the same as write-off. So a write-off or an adjustment is exactly the same thing. So having seen those things, we're gonna go over them again. Charges is the same as billed we're gonna use the letter C for charges. Allowed amount is the amount that you can actually pay. So the allowed amount. Sometimes you can see it as a maximum allowed. Sometimes you can see it as Medicare allowable or Medicare maximum. All of them mean the same. How much you can charge. How much you can pay, no charge. Deductible is a fixed yearly amount. Examples are 1,500, 100. And then there's going to be an example where you've paid some part of the deductible already. So when that happens, you have to calculate the deductible. So whatever the deductible was initially, minus what you have paid already, and that's what you're going to have left over. And then in the calculations, then you're going to use for the formula the one that that you calculated that you have left over. Okay, so this will make sense. Co-insurance is a percentage. So as soon as you see co-insurance, it's a percentage. Like I said, you can say co-insurance. So the patient has a co-insurance of 20%. So that means that the insurance is a 80-20 insurance, where the patient pays 20 and the rest is paid by the insurance. So it has to be 100. So 80-20. Next thing is a copayment. It's a fixed per visit amount. It's a smaller one, so 25, 50, 100. That doesn't mean that it could be big. Some emergency room co-payments are around $500. So it could be all the way to $100. Usually it's a lot smaller than the co-payment, than the deductible. And then the last word is adjustment. Adjustment is the same as write-off. So I'm gonna move this up, and I'm gonna kind of keep showing this little part here so we don't get out of sync. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you something that can happen in a few examples. So for example, if I say deductible, okay, and I say deductible is met, okay, that means that deductible is 0. Deductible is met. Patient has met their deductible. That means that the deductible equals 0. If I say co-insurance is maximum, that means that the insurance, that looks like a 2. I don't want that to look like a 2. That the insurance pays 100% of the claim, the patient pays 0. So if I say co-insurance max or maximum is in place, that means insurance pays 100%, patient pays 0. If I say co-insurance for Medicare patients, and I don't say anything else, you should know that the rule is that Medicare is an 80-20 insurance. So if I don't tell you what the co-insurance is, but I tell you that it's a Medicare patient, it's 80-20. Some examples that I'm going to show you, they're going to say it's a Medicare patient, but then they give you a different co-insurance. So if they give you a co-insurance, you're going to use the co-insurance that they give you. If they don't give you the co-insurance and it only says Medicare, you're going to use 80-20. I can give you only the percentage for the patient, and then you have to calculate the other one. That also happens. What else? Let me see what else. Let's see, I am not forgetting anything. On the top, co-insurance. Okay. Now, co-payment. The same thing. There's two examples. If I don't say anything, okay, there's no mention of deductible equals 0. If there's no mention of copay equals 0. I have to tell you what the co-insurance is, or the question has to tell you what the co-insurance is. I have to tell you how much the allowable amount is. The adjustment, I need to tell you what the charges are. So if the question does not mention deductible or co-payment, you could assume that both of those are 0. Other rules. Charges will always be bigger or equal to the allowed amount. So charges are greater than or equal to the allowed amount. The allowed amount will never be bigger than the charges. So if you calculate adjustment and you get a negative number, probably you have the numbers backwards. So there's only one time or one time that you can get a negative number, but not for charges. If you get for adjustment, if you get an adjustment with a negative number, that's a problem. So that means that adjustments can only be a positive number, okay, positive. Yes. Only to be positive or 0. Charges can be whatever they want, but they have to be either the same or bigger than allowed amount. Let's go to the fun part. The fun part is I'm gonna give you now some formulas. Okay. So there's 3 formulas, the 3 questions I can ask you. So formula. Formula number 1 is gonna be insurance payment. So because this is a formula for payment, or for billing, there's 3 things that they can ask you. What is the insurance payment? They can ask you what is the patient's payment? Or they can ask you how much is the adjustment? This was the first one. The first one is the insurance. This is how I do it. The insurance. I open a parenthesis. It's gonna be the allowed amount minus deductible times, right, close the parenthesis, open another parenthesis, times the percentage for the insurance. And that's it. So you take the allowed amount, take out the deductible, and then multiply it by the percentage for the insurance. Maddox, go ahead. I don't know if you did it now or did it a while back.
No, it's just I don't know if it's on my end, but you're breaking up. So I don't know if it's my end or
Anybody else? Anybody else?
It was breaking up for like a second for me, but like
Okay. So let's do it again. I want to erase it just for fun because it does not take long to do it again. Okay. And mind you, you are going to see this many, many times. So if you don't get it on the first try, that's okay. So if I ask you how much the insurance has to pay, you're gonna calculate it by using this formula. The formula goes like this: parenthesis, allowed amount minus deductible, and then close parentheses, and multiply. So you open another parenthesis, and you're gonna do the percentage for the insurance, and that's your formula. For the patient, because the patient pays more things, patient pays deductible, co-payment, co-insurance, the formula starts the same. We do the allowed amount minus deductible times something. That percentage now, instead of being the percentage for the insurance, is the percentage for the patient. Now, I'm going to open up a bigger parenthesis that covers the whole thing. And I'm going to that, I'm going to add deductible. And we're going to add co-payment. And that's the formula for patient responsibility. It includes deductible and co-payment added to whatever the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient is. It looks kind of weird. It looks like a lot, but it's super simple, I promise. And the last one is everyone's favorite, the adjustment. The adjustment is charges minus the allowed amount. So that is extremely simple. Like I said before, charges are going to be bigger than allowed amount or the same. If charges are bigger than the allowed amount, when you do a big number minus a smaller number, you get a positive number. And if you get two numbers are the same, one minus the other one is going to give you 0. So the allowed amount could be either a number or 0. 0 is a number, but a positive number or 0. Okay, so those are the formulas. I'm going to keep repeating them, but I'm going to move them up a little bit. And every time we see a question, the question is going to be a little story. I'm going to show you a few examples. And the first thing that you need to do is identify what the things are. What do I mean by that? Well, the first thing that you're going to do is you identify that the question is a math question. And then you're going to do this. You're going to write down C allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, co-payment. Now, I want you to write adjustment, even though you not always have to do adjustment, but I like to calculate adjustment in my examples. If the question does not ask you about adjustment, you don't have to calculate it. If the question does not ask you about the patient, you don't have to calculate the patient. But in our examples, we're going to do all three questions, all three examples. The insurance payment, the patient's payment, and the adjustment. And we'll probably do it in that order all the time. So if you read the question, you get the information from the question, right? And let's say the question says, well, $200 were charged to an insurance company when the allowed amount was 180. Let's say the deductible was met, so the deductible is 0. Co-insurance 80/20. Let's say there's no co-payment, and then the adjustment is something that you have to calculate. So that's the question. The question will say, $200 charge was sent to the insurance company for a service rendered by a physician. The allowed amount is $180. Patient has met the deductible, and the patient has a $20% co-insurance with no co-payment. Question could be, how much does the insurance have to pay? Okay. And then you're already determined that. So that I read the question and I wrote charges, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, co-payment, adjustment, and I take the numbers from the question and I put them in this little order that I did. Now, then you're gonna say, okay, what is it the formula for insurance? So you say, well, it's the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. Okay. And then the only thing you have to do is substitute the numbers. So allowed amount is 180. Deductible, it says met. So that means that that's 0. So minus 0, that inside of parentheses. Then you're gonna multiply it by the percentage for the insurance. The percentage is the co-insurance. So you go to 80/20. So the insurance pays 80%. Make sure you put 80%, now multiply by 80, do the percentage. Then you have 180 minus 0 is 180, so it's the same here. And then you're gonna multiply by 80%. I don't know how many of you like numbers or not. We talked about it a little bit, but I want to show you something. Now, you go to your calculator and you press number 1, and then you press number 8. People think that I'm joking here. Then you press number 0, then you press multiplication, then you press 8, then you press 0, and then you press percentage. Okay, you don't have to change it to decimal. You don't have to do anything. Usually when you do that, okay, it will change it to decimal. So it will change, it will say something like this will change to like 0.8. And then, or maybe you don't have to, and then you go or enter or whatever your calculator says, right? And when you do that, that will, I don't want the apps. There you go. And when you do that, then it will tell you what your answer is. So I'm not playing here and telling you you don't know how to use a calculator. I'm saying that this step here sometimes is the one that gets everyone. Okay, if you want, you don't have to change the percentage to a decimal or you don't need to understand the numbers. You can just do in the calculator 80 and then press the percentage and it will give you what it is. So if you do that in the calculator, can anyone help me real quick? Anyone have a calculator and did it already?
144.
144 says Eva Marie Cruz. 144. I don't trust people on my first time, so I'm gonna do it. And if you got it right, from now on, you're gonna do all of them. And it is 144. So Eva Marie is our accountant right now. So 144. So that means that the insurance pays $144 of the whole bill. Okay. So let's see how much the patient has to pay. Well, the patient is going to pay the difference technically because there's no co-payment and there's no deductible. But you don't know that because you didn't do the insurance part. So you're gonna, okay, so now I have to do what the patient has to pay. So let's see, the patient pays, and then you go the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage. Now, because that's the same thing, but now the patient, percentage for the patient. And the whole thing, you're gonna add deductible and you're gonna add co-payments. Substitute the numbers. The allowed amount is 180 minus deductible, that is 0, times the percentage for the patient, so that's the 20%. And then that thing, we're gonna add deductible, in this case is 0, and copayment in this case is 0. Okay, so technically we have 180 minus 0, so 180 times 20. And then 0 plus 0 is 0, so whatever that is, it should be $36, something like that, maybe. 18 times 2, 36. Yes, it should be 36. Where's Eva Marie Cruz, our accountant?
I got 36 too.
36, okay. So both of us are wrong or both of us are right. Now, the last question that they could ask what the patient's responsibility, or they could ask what's the insurance responsibility, or they could ask how much is the adjustment. So for adjustment, the formula for adjustment is charges minus allowed amount. And charges minus allowed amount will be $200 minus 180 is $20. So those are 3 questions that they can ask the day of the exam in any given exercise. Technically, you are only going to do 1 for each question. So this will be technically 3 questions. What is the adjustment? What is the patient responsibility? What is the insurance responsibility? Questions? This is number 1. So if you didn't understand, that's okay. But any questions? Anyone?
I have a question, but if
Go
you're
ahead.
gonna cover it again, I'm gonna look at it again.
Say that
The,
again.
no, how she came up with the 144, I'm just wait, so you're gonna do more, right? So I just wait. till-
Yeah, but okay, so no, that's, yeah, we're gonna do more. We're gonna do a lot more. But we're
Okay,
not gonna move from this one if you didn't understand it. This is the first one. There's a lot of information here. Okay, so you're saying
I got the 36, but I came up with.
I'm gonna do it in a different color. So this part here, you're not sure.
Yeah, just go over that one again, please.
Okay, so this part here, let's start with the part on the top. Okay, is 100 minus 0. Yes?
Yes, 100 minus, you said 100 minus 0.
Yeah, 100 minus 0. So we're gonna
Isn't it
do
180?
again. I mean 180. Why did I say 100?
that was-
180. 180. Now I'm gonna mess up everybody else. The ones that got it right, that know how to do it now. Now they're like, why are you saying a different number? Okay, my bad. 180 minus 0. Okay. So that
Yes,
means that is 180.
180. Mhm.
That's an ugly 8. There you go. So that's 180. 180 times 80%. So plug that in the calculator. 180 times 80%.
144. Oh,
144.
okay. I don't know how I missed it, but okay.
So usually, so what did you got before?
I was paying attention and then I don't know
Okay,
how,
okay. Fair.
and then I heard her say 144 and I was like, okay, how did she get that number? And
So
then I didn't
she
see.
got it. She got it by multiplying these two numbers. 180 times 80%. Yes or no?
Yes.
So How did you get the one on the bottom?
I just, when you said, okay, let me go back to the one on the bottom. I did,
Right here.
it was the 180
Mm-hmm.
subtract 0, which would still be 180, and
Mhm.
then I timed it by the 20%,
Yes,
and that's what I came up with, 36.
36. Cool. Someone in the chat. Someone in the chat had a question. I wanna address. Same thing. Why? This, can you do this in a calculator? 180 times 80%. Yes, no, maybe.
It gives a decimal when you do it that way.
Ah, it gives you this number. Does it
Zero.
give you this number?
Yeah.
Press enter one more time.
I'm on my phone. I can't press
Yeah,
enter.
yeah, the phone. Do it on the phone. What? Okay, so in the phone will be 180. Oh, equal. So what?
Oh,
Do
okay,
equal.
yeah. So you would press the equals.
So equals. So when you do
140.
180 and then you put 80% and then you equals, it should give you that. So
Yeah,
maybe you have to
it
equal
does.
twice.
Yes, you're right.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. I have someone in the chat that said something. If you need something, please write it again. If not, we're gonna continue. So I'm gonna erase this section here, this thing here, and this thing here for now. I'm gonna move to a different one. We're gonna do a bunch of them, so don't feel bad if you didn't got in the first try. Ah, different color. Wrong color. You go. Wrong color. I mean, it's not awful, but it's okay. Okay. So let's say we read the question and it's a question about math. And you go, oh, this is a math question? Let me start. Charges, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, co-payment, and adjustment. The thing is that this is super fast to do and helps you take the information out of the question and you don't have to read the question again. So let's say charges are slightly bigger, so charges are going to be now $500. Allowed amount is going to be $450. Deductible is going to be $100. Co-insurance is going to be 80/20. Co-payment is going to be $10. And that's the information that you got from the question. Okay. So the question might say something like charges for $500 were sent to a insurance company from a provider that has an allowed amount of $450. The patient has $100 pending deductible. Co-insurance is 80/20. Patient has a co-payment of $10 for this visit. And the question after that we'll say how much the insurance has to pay. So you do your formula for insurance. Is the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. You just do your numbers. Allowed amount. Don't get confused with the 500. It's the 400, 450. So 450. That's a mistake that you can do. Maybe you get the one from the top and get it wrong. Deductible. It says $100. So minus $100. Times the percentage for the co-insurance for the insurance, 80%. And you go now 450 minus 100. What did I say? 450 minus 100 is 350. 80%. So you calculate that, you put in the calculator. Put in the calculator is 350. 350 times 80%. And it says $280. So let's see how much the patient has to pay. The question could be over already. The question was how much insurance pays, but because we have the opportunity to practice, we are gonna practice. So we're gonna say, well, maybe the question said how much a patient has to pay. The formula for a patient is the allowed amount minus deductible times a percentage, just like the beginning, just like the other one, but now it's for the patient. And if it's for the patient, we need to add at the end deductible, and then we add copay. So let's do the numbers. Allowed amount, 450. Minus $100 for deductible. Times, now the percentage for the patient is 20%. We're gonna add deductible, $100. And we're gonna add copayment, $10. Now you have 450 minus 100, 350. These are parentheses. I want to make sure that you know that times 20%. All of that, we're gonna add 100 plus 10 is 110. So we do the first part first. 350 times 20%. That should be $70. If I got it right, plus $110. So that should be total $180. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Remember with that
Yeah.
same answer, but I do have a question regarding the deductible for the patient.
Go ahead.
So the patient deductible is $100. The patient still had to pay that $100, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the 100. So why are we minusing it if the patient still had to pay the 100? Oh, I did that.
You did that. Yeah.
Sorry.
And I don't think I can erase it without erasing a lot of other things. Okay, I'll try.
Sorry.
Okay. It happens. I told you it was gonna happen. Didn't I told you that was gonna happen at the beginning?
Yeah,
Someone's gonna get lost.
I touched my computer. I didn't know that. I forgot this is a touch screen. Sorry.
Yeah. So didn't I tell you that someone was gonna write on my board and someone was gonna get lost? So we got one of those already. So let's see who gets lost in a little bit. But I will help you. I'll do exactly what you did. She says, why are we taking it out here? And then why are we adding it back here? So the reason for that is that the percentage that the patient has to pay cannot be on top of what they have to pay anyways. So if you have to pay the deductible, then why would I charge you 20% of that deductible again? So what the rule is, I take whatever it's supposed to be. You pay the deductible first, and that is deducted from that's deductible from the original number. In this case, is the 450 for the allowed amount, and then we calculate that out of 350 instead of 450. So if we calculate it from 450, the patient will pay more plus the deductible. So they will be paying a deductible of 100 and whatever $20 when this one is supposed to be 100 only. So in that formula that I just created, it takes that into account. So the patient's deductible is deducted from the allowed amount at the time that we multiply for whatever they have to pay, and then we just add the deductible at the end because it's what they needed to pay anyways. So if I leave it there without taking it out, the patient will pay more than what they're supposed to.
I have a
So,
question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead,
No,
go.
no.
So we remove the deductible, right? So when you go to a doctor's office and they say, oh, you didn't meet your, say it's January the 5th. Oh, Ms. Maddox, you didn't meet your deductible. You have a $100 deductible that has to be paid. So I paid $100 deductible.
Mhm.
And then I still paid the 180. So do I pay
No,
two?
the 180, wait, the 180 includes the deductible. The 180 is your percentage, the percentage you have to pay. And for that, we calculate the allowed amount, but we have to take the deductible because the deductible you're gonna pay it. So we calculate what percentage of the allowed amount you're supposed to pay after you pay the deductible, when you finish your deductible, and then you add deductible and copayment because you were supposed to pay that. So deductible is what you have to pay before this part, the 80/20 kicks in. So you take it out because you're paying for it from the allowed amount, and then when it's met, then the 80/20 starts. But because it's not met yet, you pay that first, and then you have to add it because you haven't paid for it.
So I paid $100 at my visit. Do I pay it to the check-in person? Am I still responsible for the 180?
No, you're responsible for 10 of copayment, and the percentage that was 70. So you're responsible for now for 100. I mean, $80. So you're responsible for the whole thing. I want you to understand that. Patient is responsible for all of it. That is just calculating how much you have to pay for that visit. Let's go to the next visit. We can use exactly the same example and do the next visit. Maybe that will clear things a little bit.
Wait, I'm sorry. Before we go on to the next visit, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, go ahead.
The allowable amount for that was $450. But
Mhm.
when you add the insurance responsibility and the patient's responsibility, it adds up to $460.
Yeah, $460. $450 for
So,
the allowed amount and a $10 copayment.
okay, so the allowed amount for the service,
It's
then
$450.
correct. So then in addition to that,
Yeah,
you have
that's what
to
it's
pay the copayment.
It's called copayment. It's a payment that goes with the
In
payment.
addition to, understood. Okay, thank you.
So the definition for copayment is
What?
a fixed amount payment that goes with the payment. And the payment is whatever percentage you have to pay. Let's say your insurance cover 100% of the co-insurance, and you had a $10 copayment, then you pay $10.
Right. So insurance plus patient plus copayment is what the total amount for the visit is going to be, like
Plus
for that
deductible.
event.
Plus deductible.
Okay, yes, I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, we haven't done our last one. This is simple. Adjustment is charges minus allowed amount. Charges were 500 minus 450, $50. Okay. I think what's happening here is that we're not quite understanding how insurances work. Does not matter that much. We can continue this and hopefully we'll be able to understand. I don't want to explain that part first. We're going to go with Miss Maddox real quick. She said she was concerned about the $100. So let's go now. Same example. So I'm going to do it like this. Charges, allowed amount, deductible, co-insurance, co-pay, and adjustment. Okay. Miss Maddox went to the doctor first time, and the charges were $500. The allowed amount was $450. She had a deductible of $100 that she paid already. So the second time that she goes to the office, she already paid that deductible. So she only had $100 for the whole year, or left for the year, and she paid already. So now she has zero deductible. Her co-insurance is 80/20, and she had a co-payment of $10. Okay. The first time that she was there, so last time, the insurance paid $280, and Miss Maddox paid $180. So $280 and $180. Let's see what happens on a second visit when she already paid her deductible. She already paid her deductible on the first time. That's it. There's nothing else. So that should change the numbers. So let's try. So now the insurance payments for the same visit of $450 will be the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. Allowed amount still $450. Now deductible is 0. Before it was 100. And we're gonna multiply it by 80% because this is the percentage for the insurance. So now we're gonna multiply 450, not 350, 450 times 80%. Anyone can go quick?
I came up with 100 because I still have to pay the $10, right?
But we're doing the insurance. The insurance doesn't pay co-payments.
Okay, you said the insurance, so with the
So the
insurance,
insurance will be 450 minus 0 times 80%. So 450 times 80%.
I got 360.
Someone said 360. 360 sounds good.
yes, 360.
360. Everyone got 360?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's do the patient. So the patient, we're gonna use the formula for patient, is the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. Now, all of it, we're gonna add at the end deductible, and then we're gonna add total. So if you do the numbers, allowed amount, 450. Deductible, we paid for it already, 0. We're gonna multiply it by the percentage for the patient, that is 20. And then we're gonna add deductible, 0. But then we have $10 co-payment that we cannot forget, $10. So now, we're gonna multiply 450 times, 450 minus 0, so 450. Then we're gonna multiply it by 20%. Plus 0 plus 10 is 10. So now we have 90 plus 10. So the patient pays $100.
Yeah, that's what I came up with. I did the patient one first, sorry.
That's okay. So now let's compare that to before. Before, for the same allowed amount, we paid, the insurance paid $280 and the patient paid $180. And can't remember who it was, said, but that is more than the $450. Well, because we have $10 copayment. So let's see what happens here. Here, we have $360 paid by the insurance. We had $100 paid by the patient, so that is $460. And that $460 is the $450 of the allowed amount plus the $10. So both times we paid exactly the same. So we're not paying more. We're not if the patient pays more, the insurance, the provider gets more. The provider is gonna get the allowed amount plus any co-payments. Now, how that is distributed, it depends on the conditions of the question. If there's a deductible, the patient pays a percentage of the co-insurance minus the deductible. They pay the deductible and they pay the co-payment. If deductible is 0 and copayment is 0, then they only pay the percentage for the allowed amount. And then the adjustment, well, if the adjustment is charges minus allowed amount, charges were 500 minus 450. That's $50. Yes or no, my people?
Yes.
Are we understanding?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
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 Okay. Anyone still no? You can say no, doesn't matter. This is what, the second one, the third one that we've done? Boy, my bad, that's not what I wanted. There. So what, we done like 3? Something like that? Yeah, we done 3 of them, so 3 times 3, like we done 9 so far, if you think about it. Okay, let's do another one real quick. Let's use bigger numbers. Charges, amount, deductible, co-insurance, copay. And because we're practicing adjustment. Let's say that now the charges are $2,750. The allowed amount is $1,800. Deductible is $500. Co-insurance is a $70. And co-payment is $100. So you get that in your exam, and then you go like, okay, so let me see what it is. The question says how much the insurance has to pay. You put insurance pays the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. The allowed amount is 2,750 minus 500 for deductible. And then we're going to multiply that by the percentage for the insurance. In this case, is 70%. And that's just going to give us whatever that is. So that should be 2,250.
The amount was 1,800.
Oh, yes, thank you,
Hello.
thank you. Bye. Don't listen to him, he's crazy. 1800. Don't listen to him, he's crazy. See, that happens when you get to this time of day. You're tired, you don't know what you're saying. Okay. Allowed amount. No, that was on purpose to see if you were following along. Okay. 1,800 minus 5 is 1,300. That's an ugly 3. Right. There you go. Good catch. Then times 70%. So you multiply that. I don't even trust my.
910.
Say that again.
910.
910. Okay. That's it. 910. That's the answer.
Yes, I have 910.
Okay. See, I told you I needed someone to calculate for me at this time. Okay, so there you go, 910. That was a good catch. You saw what I did? I used the charges. That could happen to you. Just pay attention and you should be fine. You did good. Now let's see what the patient has to pay. Well, the patient has to pay, and you put it there. The allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. And then you do plus deductible plus copay. If you get it right, you put $1,800 minus $500 times the percentage for the patient that we already determined that was 30. Then to all of that, we're gonna add deductible, that was $500, and then we're gonna add a co-payment of $100. 1,300 times 3. Wow, it's really hard to write this freaking numbers. I hope you're appreciating that I'm writing all of this on my own. Yeah, so this is a touch screen and it's not as fast as I would like it to be. So writing numbers is plus 500 plus 100 is $600. So now you go, that will be what, 390? Yeah, I think. Is it? No. Oh, 1,339. Yes, that's it. Plus 600. So now patient pays 36,990. Yes or no, my people?
Yes.
Yes.
Who said
Yes.
no? Who said no? Did someone say no? I heard no. And the what? And this 100 you forgot?
The $100 deductible.
This is a 6. Maybe that's it. Maybe okay. This one is a 6.
The
This
copay,
is a 6.
is
It's
it the
500 plus 100. That's 600. Yeah. That's a 6, huh? I knew it. Someone was gonna complain about my handwriting. Okay. And then in your exam, I'm gonna write this. What does that look like? Okay, it's a 6. It's a 6. It's a 6. 6. So that's a 0. Better? Much better. Okay. Then, just for fun, we're gonna do charges minus a lot of amounts. Charges were 2,750 minus 1,800. You know what? Just pay attention. Please copy your own words and numbers just in case. So 2,750 minus 1,800 is 950.
950.
All right. $950.
What happens to that number? What happens to that 950?
That is what you charge over, so nothing happens to it. Nobody pays that, just in case.
Okay.
What number, Mama? Someone in the chat is asking for a number. Okay. So let me explain what happens to that number. So I said nothing happens. That is not something that you're gonna get at all. So this is something you're gonna get as payment, and this is something you're gonna get as payment. But adjustment is whatever you did over that. Okay, so
Okay.
let me show you. So when you charge $2,750,
Okay. Thank you, teacher.
you get that's what you asked, Mom. Okay, got it. I wasn't sure like about what you were asking. Okay, so when you charge, these are your charges, right? $2,750. Then you're gonna get a payment, and that payment, well, no, because you're charging two things. My bad. So you have a charge of $2,750, and you have a charge of co-payment of $100. So the patient owes you those two things together, $2,850. The insurance company sends you payment of how much? $910. So you had a balance of $2,850 minus $910 that the insurance sent you. So now the balance is $194. Then the patient sends you a payment of $990. Okay, so minus $990, that's gonna be $950. So you go like, okay, I got all my payments. Why the patient account still has $950 left over? Well, because you charge $950 extra or more than the allowed amount. So now you have to go do minus, so the adjustment. So minus $950 for an adjustment. And now the patient account is at 0. That's what happens with that number. That doesn't mean that the patient owes you that. That doesn't mean that the insurance owes you that. That doesn't mean that you lost that money. I think I tried to explain it last time with someone giving me $20. So you give me $20 and you say, hey, I say, can I get $20? Can I borrow $20? And you say yes. And you say, I'll give you those $20, I'll give them to you tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow you come in and you go like, hey, you owe me $25. I go like, nope, I owe you 20, here's your 20. And that's it. What's gonna happen with the 5 that you wanted to charge me extra? Nothing. You charge me extra because you wanted it, but that's not the case, so you don't get paid. So that's exactly what we're doing here. Now, if that adjustment was 0, that means that you didn't charge over, so the account will also be 0. So you will get there anyway. But the adjustment is to make sure that you can make the account for the patient 0 after patients and insurance payment. That is not for today. So I'm gonna erase it so you don't get confused because it's kind of like a bunch of crazy stuff there. Let's show you one a little bit different. Everyone understands this one. Hey, what are you doing to my board? Who's doing this on my board? You're in the bottom. Is anyone lost? Is anyone can't see? Does anyone cannot see the board? Is anyone lost and they cannot see where we are? Does anyone, is anyone lost? Anyone lost? This, it says that 9 people are following me and there's 12 people in the class. So there's 3 people that are either lost. Okay, so I put 12 people, 11 people back to. So there were 3 people that were lost, or at least not where they were supposed to. Not gonna ask again, but if you get lost, please let me know so I can help you and put you back where you're supposed to. So we did a big number, not big numbers, but we thousands. This most of the time, you can have smaller numbers, so charges a lot of amounts. Deductible, insurance, co-payment, and adjustments. So let's say that instead of being thousands of dollars, this is gonna be 45.50 for the charges. The allowed amount, let's make it 45.50. Let's make the deductible be 0 or met. Let's say the co-insurance is gonna be 60/40 now. And let's say we have a $5 co-payment. The insurance payment is the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. The allowed amount is 4,550 minus 0 because the deductible was met or not there. Vamos a no sé how that looks. Okay, so let's erase it. 0. And then we're gonna multiply by, what did I wrote here? 60. Has to be 60/40 because it has to be 100. But 60/40. That's what I meant. So now, and that's not 40 because that's the insurance. Jesus Christ, boy. Get it right. This is the insurance, so 60%. We're gonna multiply 4,550 times 60%. So we plug it in the calculator. And our calculator will say 4.5 times 60, 2730. The patient will pay the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. All of that plus deductible plus copay. So substitute the numbers. 4550 minus 0 times 40% because this is the patient. That whole thing we're gonna add deductible. In this case, is 0 plus Co-payment, we said $5. But now we have 45.50 times 40% plus $5. You use a trusty calculator and you do 450.5 times 0.4. That is 1820. And that 1820, we're gonna add 5. And that should be 20. Oh. 20 separating 20. I apologize, people, but the 2s and the 3s are really hard to do in this computer. So, do you guys agree with me? Anyone says, no, teacher, you are wrong again.
You're correct.
But I use 4550. Is 4550 the right number? 4550 is charge. Or is it? 4550 is an amount. That's strange. We haven't done that yet. It hasn't changed anything. Let's see if it changed in adjustment. Well, an adjustment is charges minus allowed minimums. When the charges on the allowed are the same for 50. So see that is 0. So in this case, when those two numbers are exactly the same, then we don't need an adjustment. So that will mean, okay, that again, this is not for today, but you guys are asking for things. So 450.50 was the allowed amount, the charges. And then we had a $5 for co-payment. So total charges were 50.50. We got minus 27.30 that the insurance paid, whatever that is. So we have 50.5 minus 27.3, so 23.2. 23.20. Then all of a sudden you have 23.2 paid by the insurance company. So that means that's a 0. So this is patient. This was the insurance. And these were the charges. And this is the copay. At the end of the day, the insurance paid as part, the patient paid as part. There's no added after the allowed amount, so the charges are the same. So there's no need for an adjustment because already the account is at 0. Again, none of this was for today, so kind of giving you a preview of what's coming up next. Questions about this one? Liz Cantillo. You were saying something, or did you just? Oh, you don't understand it? Liz can. The one now yeah, that's not important for now. Let's see, Liz, can you help me out here then? Unmute yourself and let's talk. Liz, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm gonna ask you questions and you're gonna give me numbers. Liz Cantillo, charges, allowed amounts, deductible, co-insurance, co-payment, adjustment. Liz, what is your favorite number? That's your favorite number? So weird. It's a weird. That's a No, no, no. I asked what's your favorite number? No, I can see $10,000, 10,000 cars. Okay. Jesus Christ. Give me a number that is smaller than 10,000, or it could be 10,000 or smaller. Any number. It could be 1 or it could be 10,000. Any number in between those two. Go. Two. Okay. Give me a number less than 2,000 or 2,000. 150. Let me fix this for the people that don't like my writing. 150. Okay, give me two numbers that if you add them, give you 100. It is 20. Alexander, 8. Give me one more number for co-payments. Could be any number. 125. You're making it difficult for yourself, baby girl. Okay. Co-payment 125. So we're gonna have, these are the numbers that Liz just came up with. So we're gonna use them. This is for two things. One, to prove that every single thing that we've done before, I just made it up. And that doesn't matter what numbers you use, the numbers are not gonna make it more difficult or it's gonna be just the same. So we have big numbers, small numbers, and we have a combination of all of them in this one, so it's not that bad. The question might ask, how much is the insurance have to pay? And you will say, well, the insurance pays the allowed amount, whatever that number is, minus deductible, whatever that number is. And then we're gonna multiply it by the percentage for the insurance. If we do all of that, we should see how much insurance have to pay. We substitute the numbers. The allowed amount is 2,000. Minus deductible. The deductible is 150. Wow, that was disgusting. 5. And then you multiply it by the percentage for the insurance. If I did it correctly, 1,850 times 80%. How much is that, people? 63, 63, 70. 1,480. Do everyone agree?
Yeah.
Everyone got for 1,480? Come
I
on,
got
baby.
1480 as well.
Okay, close. Now let's see what the patient has to pay. Well, the patient is going to pay the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. All of that plus deductible plus copay. The allowed amount is $2,000 minus deductible, that is 150 times 20%. Plus deductible, that is 150 plus copayment, that was 125. So we go $2,000. One 850, just like before. Times now 20 instead of 80. Plus 150 and 125 is 275. 1,850. So that is what, 370? I think. 370 plus 275. That is, that should be 6 what? 4? 645? Okay. And then our adjustment is just charges minus allowed amount. Because our friend went crazy on the numbers. Now we have $10,000 minus $2,000. There is an adjustment of $8,000. Any questions about that one? Excuse me? Perfect. Yeah, of course, because you were the one that gave the numbers. Those were your numbers. Let me see something real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Okay. Did you 2 more? That will be 24. I tried to do like 25 the first day. Go ahead. You're gonna no, you're gonna get 15, not 2. You're gonna get 15 for but not for tomorrow because I still need to show you how to read the question and how to get the information. This is just the math without the exercise. So tomorrow after class, your homework will be 15 examples that you have to do. So you're gonna get examples to do. You're gonna get 15 of them. And 15 to do the 3 questions. So those are 45 questions technically that you have to answer. But I need you to understand this first before we put you to do them by yourself. But don't worry, you're gonna practice. Let's do at least 2 more. So I said 8 to 24. 24 will be there. Let's do 2 more. Charges, amounts. Now I'm using my finger and it looks even worse. Let me use a little pen. See if it works better. Allowed amounts, deductible, co-insurance, okay. Yeah, adjustments. I'm gonna do something a little bit different here. I'm gonna say charges are $800. I'm gonna say that the amount was $650. I'm gonna say that the deductible was met. I'm gonna say that the co-insurance is Medicare. And then no co-payments. What is that? Can you still see it? Then it says the insurance company is going to pay the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the insurance. So you go, well, the allowed amount is $650. Deductible says met. So what do we say when the deductible is met? Equals 0. So the deductible is -0. Then we go to the percentage for the insurance, and we're like, but it doesn't say. Well, if it's Medicare, it's 80-20. So the question doesn't have to tell you that. You should know that it's 80-20. It's gonna be 80. Now you have 650 times 80%. So how much is that? Come on with a calculator. 520. Wow, numbers are getting uglier by the minute. I think this is dirty. Oh, for sure tomorrow's gonna look better, I promise. I don't know exactly how, but I'll fix it. Then let's see what the patient has to pay. The patient will pay the amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient. I think that's it. It's super dirty. That whole thing, we're gonna add deductible plus copay. Amount 650 minus 0 because it's met times the percentage for the patient because Medicare is 20 plus deductible. It says met, that means that it's 0 plus a copayment. We don't have copayment, so 0. So technically it's 650 times 20%. 130.
130.
And then we go here, our adjustment is gonna be charges minus amount. Charges are gonna be 800 minus 650. Right. That should be 150. Any questions on that one?
No.
Wait, sorry. The allowed adjustment was 150?
The what?
The
Adjustment?
allowed amount, I'm sorry.
650.
Oh, okay, never mind.
My bad. It's just, it's so hard. The only numbers I can do properly is the 1. The zeros is hard. Sometimes it doesn't connect. You see, the 2. This is what it looks. It looks good. Why is it working now? I'm pretty sure is that this is kind of dirty. I'll clean a little bit, and hopefully it will be better tomorrow. Okay. Let's do one more. With this one that we're gonna do now, you're gonna be at 24. So just think about this. Before today, you haven't done 1. Now you've done 24 questions of math, billing and coding. I don't care how good you are at math. If you didn't know how to do it, even people that are really good at math won't be able to understand this if you don't know the actual rules. So this is the part that changes the math to the billing and coding math. Okay, so let's do one more. This last one, we're gonna introduce one more thing. We're gonna have charges, amount, deductible, co-insurance, co-payment. Yes. Go ahead. No, that's for the exam. It's gonna be given, and for when you're working, that's gonna be on your charge master. So that will be given to you all the time. You don't have to look for it or do anything. That's all. You always want to have that one. That number is given to you. That number you cannot be looking for it. It's going to be given to you. It's going to be in your software, or it's going to be in the question if you're doing the exam. Everything else you can get and look and search, but that one is you put the information in for the code and it will give you exactly how much the allowed amount is. So let's say charges $400.
Cesar,
Go ahead. Sorry. Alianis.
how do you say how do you say see? What is?
Charges?
Yes.
Charges or bill.
Oh.
Charges or bill amount $400. Allowed amount $375. Deductible was $1,000, but we have paid $200 of the deductible. Co-insurance, we're gonna keep it at $820. Co-payment, we're gonna say that is 0, and we're gonna calculate what the insurance have to pay. The insurance will pay the allowed amount minus the deductible times the percentage for the insurance. So you go, okay, so my allowed amount is $375. Deductible, wait, that's not 100, that's 1,000. So in the question it says the patient had a $1,000 deductible and they paid $200. So that means that you have to calculate that deductible. 1,000 minus 200 is 800. So if it says the patient has paid $200 for their or towards their $1,000 deductible, you take the 1,000 minus what they have paid and that number. So now you have three numbers. Which number are you going to use for deductible? Well, whatever is left over, whatever you just calculated, that's the number you're going to use for deductible. Okay? And that is going to be $800. And then you're going to multiply that by the percentage for the insurance. So 80. So now you go and put it in the calculator. What happens when you put it in the calculator?
It should be a negative.
It's a negative number. So if it's a negative number, then you stop there and you say insurance pays 0. Because that means that the patient has not met their deductible. And the deductible is higher than the allowed amount. So if you do it correctly and the deductible is higher than the allowed amount, the insurance pays 0. Let's do the patient. Now patient, same thing, the allowed amount minus deductible times the percentage for the patient plus deductible plus copay. And you substitute your numbers and you put 375 minus 800 times, in this case it was 20%. That whole thing plus deductible 800 plus copay of 0. And you start and you go like, oh shoot, this is a negative number immediately. So you stop there and the patient pays 375, the allowed amount plus any copayment. In this case, 375. So what happened there? That the patient has not met their deductible and is not going to meet it in this visit. In all the visits that we've done before, the deductible is smaller than the allowed amount, so they meet their deductible at that visit. So you take the deductible out of the allowed amount, multiply it, pay the deductible, pay the copayment, pay the co-insurance, and you're ready to go. But in this example, when you get a negative number, you need to stop. The insurance will pay nothing, and the patient will pay not 800, the allowed amount, whatever your the allowed amount is, and copayment if you have. Let's see if that affects at all our adjustment, charges minus allowed amount. And it does not. 400 minus 375 equals 25. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
That's one of the hard ones because you have to calculate the deductible, and then the deductible gives you a negative number when you add it. That's something you need to memorize if you get a negative number, or if you realize it, you don't have to calculate. You gotta wait. The deductible is higher than the allowed amount. Boom, stop there. Patient pays the allowed amount, and the insurance pays 0. But I don't care if you understand it. I care that you know how to do it, because even if you don't understand it and you follow the steps, you should get the right answer. For example, people will go and say at the beginning, let's go at the beginning real quick. People could say, oh, wrong. People could say at the beginning, why is he doing this? Wait. So you say, for example, at the beginning that I put one that didn't have copayment, didn't have anything. You say, well, if it doesn't have copayments, or you could say, that's not that one. This one maybe. This one. No, this one has a copayment too. Yeesh. They all have copayment. This. Okay, this one. So you go like, okay, so in this one, it was 180. If the insurance pays 144, then the patient has to pay 36. Yes, but remember, the day of the exam, they're not going to ask you both, so you don't have to calculate both. So if they ask you how much the insurance has to pay, you calculate the insurance. That's it. If they ask you how much the patient has to pay, you just calculate the insurance. It's like you don't have to calculate both of them. And a lot of people that understands numbers goes like, oh, wait, but let me see, I do it in a different color. I'll erase it in a little bit. Someone will go like, well, this number plus this number equals this number. So if I get this one, okay, if I calculate that one, and then I do minus the other one, I get this one. Yes, all of that is true. But there's a formula for each, so you don't have to be doing that. And that's only works if you have 0 for the deductible, 0 for copayment. After that, it just messes it up. So I'd rather you know how to do it. It takes a little bit longer. You do have enough time to do it, but you should be able to do it. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go all the way to the top, because we're almost at the top. And this is what I'm gonna do. Right while you are doing this, I'm going to export this into a PDF file. I'm gonna put export. It will take a second. I will open the folder. Uh, 10.4, I'm gonna copy this. And as we speak, I will go to our class. I will go to announcements. I'm going to post an announcement with today's whiteboard. I'm not gonna close the whiteboard yet until you guys tell me that you can see it. This is gonna be math practice number 1. Boom. Then I'm gonna attach it. It will take like a minute. So whenever you can see it, let me so it takes a minute, but I need anyone to, or all of you, if you want to, go to your to our class and go to where it says, say that again.
I see it. It's there.
Okay. So it locked. What do you mean locked? Locked? What do you mean locked, ma'am? What I don't see is the attachment. Can you see the attachment? Because I don't see the attachment.
I don't see attachment.
I don't see the attachment either.
No attachment.
Let's give it a minute and refresh. I mean, I see it in the original. I'm gonna refresh it. Just thinking. Okay, so can you please refresh your announcement page and see if now it has an announcement and an
Yeah, I
attachment?
see it, and I went in, I see, but that's all I see. And I'm clicking on math practice 1 inside the, oh, let me download it. Do we have to download it?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's gonna be everything that we did today. So I can close this. All my beautiful handwritings should be there.
Yes, I see it.